What's up, guys? Welcome back. We have another knife from my buddy Chris from a South African maker. And, guys, I am telling you, South African guys have got it going on. I am not going to try to pronounce his last name, but it's Anton van der something out of South Africa. I'm not even going to try because I will butcher it. But here is who made this knife in 2020, so it's basically brand new. And is it not awesome? Wow. I mean, we're just going to go right to some zoomed in shots because yeah. So it's a titanium frame. It's a titanium frame lock, actually, with a very beautiful black Cerakoted finish. Damascus inlays. You can slightly feel the transition between the titanium and the Damascus. Okay? Titanium pivot collars. As you can see, a Damasteel blade, which we'll look at here a little closer in just a moment. Damascus backspacer. Damascus clip, which works really well. It's a little odd at first glance because it's kind of swooped up, and oftentimes they're going to swoop down, is a more common look. But it works really well. And if you look at it from the side, it's hard to tell. Let me see if I can get a light over here because it's concaved. So it's higher up on this back side than it is on the front side. It's just kind of contoured. It's hard to show, and it doesn't really pick up well on camera, but it's a very cool. I love pretty much everything about this. One thing I really do like also is how well the blade kind of sits right inside of the frame. So the angles of the blade come right up and just fill the scales really well. His maker's mark is right here on the edge. And then he has a cutout down here that then goes to the lock face. It's just kind of some grinding. It looks like hand grind on the flipper tab for some texture, which is very helpful. You would need some of that on here. So let's fire this bad boy open. It is a Wharncliffe, like a harpoon Wharncliffe blade. It's a Thor pattern Damascus, which just looks awesome. I'm into the kind of cleaver look and whatnot, so this really just works for me. Just beautiful. You can still see his name on there. It's having a hard time focusing, but just outstanding. Now, it runs on ceramic IKBS. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see the overall knife. So it is super smooth on those bearings. Let's just get it right past the detent. Just nice and smooth drop shut. Not a slam it home drop. Just one little shake and it falls. Got a nice sound to it. For what it is, I like more of a thunk, but for a small blade like this, that's what you're going to get. Just a beautiful knife. So a couple of quick specs. I know people probably don't even care much about the specs usually, but it's 4 3/8 closed, 7 5/8 overall, 3.3 inch long blade. Relatively thin at 0.121, 0.44 overall thickness. And I totally forgot to weigh it. I will put the weight down in the description. It's super light, super carryable. I've been having a great time with this knife, even though it's a smaller knife for me. Fits in my hand really relatively well. My thumb just lands right on that little harpoon. You can choke up here around the flipper tab. Makes it really comfortable. I don't know. It's for the price in South Africa. Well, in the United States, Chris bought this for around $1,300. That is an incredible price for handmade, custom by a maker. I mean, you just don't get that here from the U.S. makers. You'd get pretty close. This is not a screaming deal like a couple of the other ones that I've done of Chris's. I mean, it's a great deal, but, maybe you could get this done, I don't know, 15, 1800 here in the States from an American maker. I think the South African makers have a much better price point. Labor is cheaper in South Africa for themselves because cost of living is cheaper. So your cost of goods is just a lot less than here in the States. So let's do a couple of size comparisons just to kind of show you the overall size. Here it is next to Sharpie. The Spyderco Delica. So it's, quite a bit, not a lot bigger, but it is a little bit bigger. The handle is about the same as the Delica. I'm guessing there's nothing here really on the table that's going to be exact size. Well, here you go. The Holt Spectre, which is just a little bit under... I don't even think I said the name. This is the Boudicca? Boudicca, I think is how you pronounce it. Flipper. So the Spectre is just a hair bigger. But if you cut the tip off, right about where the tip of this one is, kind of cut off, if you made it the same blade style, it would be about the same size, actually, now that we're looking at it. And then here's another Damasteel blade from Todd Begg Steelcraft Field Marshal. And I want to say this is Thor pattern, but I don't think it is. It might be. I don't remember the pattern of the Begg knife. The Anton is absolutely Thor pattern. This one I don't remember. I'll have to look and try to remember to put that in the description, just so that we have it as a reference, right? But, man, I can't thank Chris enough for loaning these in. It's been an absolute pleasure to check out these South African knives. And I've got a couple more still to do of his. And there is a South African makers playlist now on my channel. So you can just quickly go and see all of them. And I'll put a link in the description for the playlist. So really go check out all of them. These are all kind of for sale. I think Chris spent a little bit. Well, I know he spent some money at the California Custom Knife Show, so he had told me originally that if anybody was interested in these, that I could pass them along to him. So if you're interested, hit me up. Shoot me an email. My contact information is in the description for sure. Or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, and then I can pass you along to Chris. I don't know. I did not get a price list from him on these, but, at some level, isn't everything for sale? That's what my buddy James keeps trying to teach me, that everything has its price. So I may be selling some of my own knives here shortly. But anyway, I'm really just blown away by all of these knives. So great big thank you to Chris for loaning these in. And thank you guys for watching and hanging out as we go through this South African journey. It's been a pleasure. Chris has sent me some. Alex at Alex's Knife Box has sent me some. It's really been a pleasure. I'm definitely definitely going to add some South African makers to my collection at some point here. So thanks for watching, guys. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.